Okay, if you need a few extra examples that go along with the Day 10 video, this worksheet is for you. So I'm just going to go through plotting the graph and telling whether or not the relation is a function. And if it is a function, we can go ahead and state the domain. I'm just going to do a couple, and you can follow along with me. So let's go ahead and take a look at this first column here. We'll choose one from this column, and we'll choose one from the second column and go from there. All right, so let's just go ahead and choose, let's just start with number 1. Okay, so what I want you to do actually is I want you to create a table of values. I want you to plot this, and then you go ahead and tell me if it's a function or not. So go ahead, give it a try, and then come back and check your work. Okay, so here's what I got. What we should notice is something funky was happening to x. So I chose to plug in values for x to solve for y. Okay. And then we get all of those y values there. And when we plotted those, it is a parabola opening up. Does it pass the vertical line test? Is this a function? It absolutely is a function. It passes that vertical line test. Each x only has one y. So yes, it is a function, and our range is going to be y is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, now let's look at this second column. And there's one that kind of stands out to me that I want to try, and it is number 12. So I want you guys to try and give it your best shot before you check your answers with mine. So go ahead, pause the video, I'll work it out, and then we'll check back with each other. Okay, so this one took a little bit more thought because there were two absolute values. Absolute value of y and then absolute value of x plus 1. So what I did to start off is I chose some values of x, negatives to positives, and then I'd have to solve this absolute value equation. So when x is -2, we would get two y values. When x is -1, we only get one y value, and that's 0. When x equals 0, we're back to two y values. And when x is 1, we continue on with two y values. So I wouldn't worry so much about a graph like this. This was more just let's see how we can do. But as you can see, this is certainly not a function. It's simply just a relation. Let's take a look at this bottom section now where we're given the graph. And you just have to quickly go through and state whether or not the relation is a function. Okay? So hopefully this is relatively quick. We're just using that vertical line test at this point. And I'm going to let you go through and try them on your own, and then we'll come back and we'll check our answers. Okay, so here's what I got. F represents it's a function, and R simply represents that it's just a relation. It is not a function. It does not pass the vertical line test. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly go through and explain why some of them that I feel might be questionable to you are why it is a function or why it is not a function. So the first one I think might be confusing is 15. Okay, so if we were to draw a vertical line through this point, we see that it crosses our graph here, and we've got that point here. One x value has two y values. Doesn't pass the vertical line test. It's a relation. All right. Number 16 is a vertical line. Every x value has, or that one x value has multiple y values. It is not a relation. So vertical lines, even though we hear the word line, it's a relation. It's not a function. 17. Why is this a function? Well, the key here is if we're looking at this vertical line right here, this portion is a closed value, so that x value only has one y value since this is open. Okay, so that is a function. It passes that vertical line test. The last one that might throw you for a loop is similar to what we just talked about, is number 23. This is a function because of that open circle here. That means this x value along this vertical line only has one y value, and that's at that closed point on top. Finally, number 25 might be another questionable one. Again, it's all about the closed versus open circles. This vertical line, if I draw it in through here, I've got 2 closed circles on that vertical line. That means that X value has 2 Y values. If X is a person, that person has 2 different birthdays. It doesn't make sense. So this is only a relation. It is not a function. If you have questions on any of these, feel free to bring them up with your teacher in class next time you're there. Have a good day. Bye-bye.